Tech Unleashed, The Power of Differentiation in Education, a mini conference. Introduction, the problem. Conventional teaching approaches often fail to meet the diverse learning needs of students, particularly concerning visual and multimodal learning, reducing engagement, motivation, and academic performance. Technology-mediated tools and strategies should be emphasized to facilitate differentiated instruction, creating an inclusive and personalized learning environment that enhances student engagement, motivation, and academic achievement. Integrating technology to differentiate instruction and accommodate visual learners can bridge the achievement gap and provide equitable opportunities. Technology integration fosters student-centered learning, critical thinking, and collaboration, while enhancing teacher efficacy and reducing the workload. By focusing on technology-based differentiation in education, we can address the problem of inadequate accommodation of diverse learning needs, leading to increased engagement, motivation, and better academic outcomes for all students. The project summary. The finished project takes the shape of a user-friendly website for K-12 educators, focused on differentiated instruction and technology integration for assessment and learning. It offers research-based information and multimedia resources to support personalized teaching and adaptability for student variance in education. The platform empowers educators with practical strategies and technology tools to enhance student engagement and academic performance. The finished project's pages comprise two cohesive sections, one dedicated to informative content and the other to a curated resource toolbox. These work harmoniously to offer educators comprehensive insights and practical resources. The main homepage of the finished website includes two different ways to access the information. Self-directed users may find the main sections links at the top, as well as throughout the main homepage. So you can just scroll to access those. As mentioned, there are sections that include differentiation for content, process, product, and environment, which is the perspective of planning from the teacher side. There is understanding differentiation for student variance in education, which includes the key element of assessing for readiness, interest, and building learner profiles through the perspective of students, teachers, and parents. There is a really well-stocked section on assessment tools and best practices for differentiation utilizing technology. There is a page of additional resources containing articles, ebooks, audio recordings, and web links, as well as an about section pertaining to the creator and the project and its goals. And then, of course, the references used for the project, as well as the mini conference. So some tips to navigating the website. Like I said, you can access any of the sections up here, or again here. And if you wish to see the references, also here. So click whichever section you wish to browse. And as mentioned, it's curated in a way that there is research data and information available on the page. And then there is also a section of links pertaining to the information provided. So each of these is a clickbox link to various tools, applications, articles, websites, all to act as tools to support teacher differentiation. And then at the bottom and top of each page are toggle arrows to move forward through the pages or back. Again, on the majority of pages, if there's no talking head video to introduce the page, you'll find audio recordings, and that's highlighted right here. Prefer to listen? Click here for the audio version of this page. And again, some text based on journal articles and researched and verified information. And then again, to match a series of links to different resources and tools for individuals. The project objectives. The overarching objective of this project is to support all K-12 educators in understanding and implementing effective differentiation practices that meet the diverse needs of their students. By providing access to a comprehensive collection of technological resources, articles, planning documents, and web links, the project aims to empower K-12 educators with the tools and knowledge to create engaging and inclusive learning environments that foster student success and academic growth. The website is designed to provide K-12 educators with easy to access, research-based information and various corresponding resources specifically designed to support differentiated instruction in content, process, product, learning environment, student variance, readiness, interests, and assessment. There are two distinct avenues of resource curation. The first is aggregated scholarly data from reputable articles aimed at enlightening participants on the principles of teacher differentiation, containing content, process, and product, contingent upon student readiness, interest, learning profiles, assessment tools, and practices. The second avenue includes endorsed digital tools, professional networks, and additional resources, delving into their potential advantages in facilitating differentiation. In addition to the technological resources, the project intended to contain various planning documents and web links related to the key elements of differentiation. These curated resources will provide K-12 educators with insights, strategies, and practical guidance for assessing and accommodating student differences in their instructional practices. The final objective is to ensure that the research and compiled materials presented within the site align with current best practices in differentiated instruction and assessment. The website should serve as a reliable, ethical, and up-to-date source of information and resources for K-12 educators. The project milestones. Milestone 1, Website Design and Interface. Milestone 1, to design and establish the foundation of the website, to create the web frames, to outline the layout and the structure of the pages, to design the user interface to ensure a visually appealing and user-friendly experience, to implement a navigation system to provide logical and intuitive navigation throughout the website. This milestone sets the groundwork for the subsequent research, development, and the content integration phases. Milestone 2, the research and resource development. Research extensively and gather resources related to differentiated teaching and learning, focusing on identifying and compiling information that supports the key elements of differentiation: content, process, product, learning environment, and assessment. Corresponding interactive learning material, adaptive learning tools, and educational resources are aligned with best practices in education and are developed and integrated into the website. Milestone 3, feedback and refinement. Collect user feedback from the intended audience to assess the effectiveness and usability of the website. User surveys, interviews, and usability testing will be conducted to gather input on various aspects of the website, such as its effectiveness, accuracy, comprehensiveness, usefulness, and user experience. Feedback is carefully analyzed to refine and improve the website's content, its organization, functionality, and operability. Adjustments and modifications will be made based on the input to ensure that the website meets the project's objectives and the needs and expectations of its intended audience. The project outcomes. The project progress met the predetermined timetable goals regarding content and website development. Usability tests proved successful, and the feedback gathered was from a target audience slightly larger than the anticipated size. Documentation of the progress throughout aligned with the project timetable while meeting the significant milestones and outcomes/deliverables. Those deliverables are as follows: to use appropriate web development tools and technologies to design and build the website, focusing on user interface, navigation, and aesthetics. To conduct extensive research to gather various technological resources, articles, planning documents, and web links relevant to differentiated instruction, student variance, and assessment. To organize and categorize the acquired research and resources, to integrate the resources into the website for engaging use and easy access and retrieval, to conduct usability tests in the form of interviews, surveys, and to gather feedback from educators who will use the website, to evaluate the effectiveness and usability of the website based on the feedback received, and finally, to implement the iterative development cycles to make necessary adjustments and modifications based on audience input, and to continuously improve the organization, functionality, and user experience of the website. Dissemination, collecting the data. Data was collected from a group of target audience professionals using a Google form. The form was generated to align with the project goals and outcomes, as well as the revised self-assessment rubric. The group consisted of 6 individuals ranging from classroom teachers to assistant principals across the K-12 education system. Individuals were first asked to peruse the website and its resources, and then to provide feedback in click box and paragraph responses. Once feedback was received, it was carefully analyzed, and then appropriate adjustments to the content and usability of the site were made. At the end of the project, the target group was provided with a link to the revised website and asked to complete a copy of the summative self-assessment rubric based on the final product and the changes made based on their feedback. Here you can see in the audience feedback data collection form that individuals were asked to complete a series of rather comprehensive questions, including varying modes of responding just to help garner some more accurate data. So they were asked to rate the visual appeal of the website itself and the design and the layout. And for each question, there were sections that were available so that individuals could provide long answer text, which was really quite informative when analyzing the data. So the first set of questions were regarding technical issues and actually the usability of the site itself. And then again, there was a question regarding the title, and I gathered some really good feedback based on the original working title and then the title that I ended up with. And again, more questions regarding the structure and organization of the content, the clarity of the information presented. Was it easy to find? Was it easy to navigate? And how could it be improved? Then the second portion of the form was regarding the actual content itself and the value and kind of authenticity and usability and relevance of that information. So based on the research and the tools provided. So were the topics covered in sufficient depth to provide a comprehensive understanding of the technology and again, those original goals and objectives of the project? Did the website address the diverse needs of its potential users? And my target audience was made up of school teachers and previous classroom teachers that are now in administration. So it was a really wide range of feedback from multiple perspectives across all different grades, which was really, really nice because it gave a really good kind of spectrum of answers and some diverse responses and things that I hadn't thought about because of the diversity of the individual participants. Again, did the users find the content to be relevant and valuable? Why or why not? How could the needs better be met? Were there any notable gaps? So leaving this open-ended to individuals after having used the website, what did they feel was missing? What did I not see? And how could I improve that right away? And again, as next steps. Again, what was unnecessary or distracting? Was there anything there that shouldn't have been? And was there anything that was particularly helpful that should be perhaps highlighted better? And again, tying back into those objectives, did the website incorporate multimedia elements and any additional comments or suggestions? And again, this section proved to be really helpful. So that is a version of the form. I will include the link for anybody who wants to see it a little. Feedback. The following feedback was taken from the Google Form survey completed by my target audience. So I'm going to highlight some of the key pieces of feedback and then show you the changes that were made. So some of the suggestions for improving the visual appeal and layout included the color choice and the background being challenging for reading, especially those who are more inclined to be visual learners. And some feedback was that it was hard to read because the original website had a black background with white text, and then some text here in the center that talks about inserting a sidebar with more inviting headers to engage participation, and the links could be better organized, and again to make it more user-friendly for somebody who is kind of a novice at technology. And also I was encouraged to add more personal videos, including some kind of introduction to myself and the project. A few of the users found that there wasn't enough personalization. They didn't really know. If they didn't know me, they wouldn't know the project was mine. And some further feedback included, I originally had a lot of animated objects on the original web page and removed a lot of those, and then reorganized a lot of the headers and links, and made it a lot more easy to navigate and a lot more easy to find information. Also reconfigured some of the images to be higher resolution, and also highlighted a lot of the keywords, bolding action words and really important pieces of information, just to make it easier to read and to really make the key pieces of information pop out. So this is what that looked like. Okay, so here on the left we have the original project, before any feedback was received. And so you can see the theme was quite dark, and the text was kind of almost a white color, and there were lots. This is the main page on both sides. There was a lot of moving images, the headers, the footers, the images themselves. And when you go into the actual pages, I'll expand this one first. When you go into the actual pages, you can see there was some redundancy. Some of the links were in more than one place at one time. And even within the individual pages, the viewers thought that it was difficult to read. There wasn't enough audio, and the links, these are actually all links, were not well organized and were difficult to unpack. And then moving forward, there was just, again, more gifts and some more organization needed to the actual layout and aesthetics of the site. And then again, restructuring how the links were laid out and how they were embedded. So if we go back to the new version, you can see it's much brighter, much cleaner, a much higher contrast, and the pages have been layered and linked in such a way that it's a lot more user friendly, and individuals can self-direct what they're looking for in a much clearer way. I removed all the GIFs, so now they're just flat images to make it a little less overwhelming. Changed some of the font, and as recommended, added an about page that speaks about me as the author and the project itself. And then when we talk about the individual pages, we can look at this one again to see the difference. Highlighted and bolded some of the key terms, included some headers regarding the resources that accompany the research, and then changed all the links to these click buttons that are a lot easier to read, navigate, and kind of find what you're looking for. And each page has a similar layout now with the brighter theme, embedded some more videos, and made everything just a little tidier and easier to navigate based on that feedback. Further feedback includes suggestions for improving the organization and structure. So regarding intro videos for some of the varying sections, some of them had videos, some of them didn't. So a few more videos were added. Again, a section that discusses the way the links were laid out in terms of just usability and organization. And this was a really key piece of feedback that a couple of people mentioned, was to put a greater emphasis on the learner profiles, that they should be highlighted more prevalent, because that's such a key piece of differentiation. And other feedback included incorporating parent voice and student perspective a little better. And then another piece of feedback was regarding the title. So the original title was Differentiation for the Educational Practitioner, and the suggestion was that we want the power word to be in the technology, not the differentiation. And I agree with this, because teachers should be differentiating anyway, and the project focuses on using technology for the purpose of differentiation. So as a result, I decided to change the title as well as the web address to make it a little more tech powerful. And so that really helped a lot as well, I think. You can see the headers were changed, the web addresses were changed. And when we go into the student section, understanding student variance and readiness, we can see that the section for learner profiles in both is actually, this was the original. Again, there's some articles here that were really helpful. They included a lot of templates, and I had some templates here. But what I did was really increase the emphasis on using learner profiles and creating learner profiles. So again, still have those two articles, but included a lot more blank templates and examples to really help people understand how to use the templates, how to create a learner profile, increase the information here, and also including parent voice, because that was something that I really didn't emphasize enough before. So it was really a good suggestion from a couple of my target audience members to really kind of put a greater emphasis on parent voice. So those are now included here and a little bit easier to find. And a little bit cleaner and clearer to use. Some additional feedback pulled from the form. This is the section that begins talking about content specifically, not just the usability, but the actual content itself. So there was some really good, thoughtful feedback provided, which was really beneficial to me. So a lot of it, some of the key points were there was a lot of reading for a visual auditory learner, which again is kind of one of the key elements of differentiation. So could some of it be synthesized with videos? And so what I did was I created an audio file for the text on each page. So if you prefer to listen, you had the option of doing that. I condensed the lists of resources to clarify how the sections are different. And then this section here discusses maybe highlighting the importance of EAs or teacher assistants and how they play a role in differentiation. And that's really interesting. This came from a spec ed teacher who utilizes their EAs really well and how to deploy them and how they can play a role. And so I actually added an entire section into the site that wasn't there regarding the benefits of EAs or how to deploy teacher assistants. And again, a few suggestions about AI or Chat GPT. And I know that's up and coming and that will definitely play a big role. So I added a small section just touching on Chat GPT, but I think that's more for kind of the future steps to really add and research, add a new section on how that can really, really augment or support differentiated learning. All right, going back to the technology for differentiation page, you can see at the bottom here, there was nothing. And so part of making it a little better and incorporating those content suggestions and that feedback, added this section here at the bottom regarding teaching assistants and also some related web articles to kind of complement the research. And then on the next page, again, adding that section at the bottom regarding the potential of AI in digital tools, which on the original, you can see these pages actually changed quite a bit. These are the same page, just different versions, and adding that here at the bottom. And then again, some links to articles that are related to ChatGPT and AI specifically. And again, that other piece of feedback, you'll notice now in the new website, all the pages have a bar here. And this is a link to the audio file that says, click here for the audio version of this page. And it's just an audio file that reads all the text on this page that I've created just to really support audio and visual learners a little better. Being that this is an academic site, I couldn't actually take out the text, but I could definitely make it easier for people to access it. So all of the pages now, unless there is a talking video, all of the pages now have this audio link embedded for usability. The final sections of audience feedback from the survey was regarding any gaps in the information provided. So there, again, were some really good suggestions here that I've implemented and some that I am putting in my next steps list. So things to work on moving forward. So one of the things I actually did do this time around was really add some more content related to parent voice. That was something that a couple of people mentioned, and also making some of the things more kid friendly. Although this is geared toward educators, for example, learner profiles, we ask kids to fill those out. So I did add a more kid friendly version of that. As well as in here, there is a couple of participants also suggested putting in a component for well-being, which may fall kind of in an unusual area as far as differentiation goes, but still very, very relevant, especially in this day and age with COVID and the lack of social skills and the delays in development and some of those other things. So can all be connected to differentiation. So I didn't put in a wellness section this time just because of time, but it is definitely on my list for the next step. So I did focus on parent voice and making things a little more kid friendly, and will definitely work on well-being in the future. So Last couple of suggestions were, again, to minimize the moving graphics. So I removed a lot of the links and moving pieces. And again, to consider there more cultural considerations. There is some information in the website about ELL learners and foreign learners and differentiate for them. And it was just really emphasized that, this would also support FNMI students, other complex learners, and additional language learners. So to add in additional sections for that to kind of complement what I've already got in the site. So again, really good information for moving forward. So when we look at the site for those last few changes, you can see some of the big differences. And again, moving some of these really key points to the next steps list. Pertaining to that last bit of feedback, again, you can see some additional reading added regarding parent engagement, and the younger student templates, which are more kid-friendly, are located in here as well, which again is under the learner profile section, which was really emphasized by a lot of my users. So I put quite a bit of effort into revamping some of the content and making it a little bit more relevant to what people were asking for. Next steps. In the next phase of this project, the primary focus will be improving user experience and inclusivity. The first step will involve optimizing the website for mobile viewing, ensuring that it maintains its user-friendly nature across all devices, thus expanding its accessibility to a broader audience. Additionally, a new section dedicated to well-being will be integrated into the site, providing authentic resources to foster mental health and overall wellness. This new addition will bring a holistic perspective to the subject, offering benefits beyond the website's core content. To stay current with evolving research, further investigations will be conducted into the ongoing benefits of AI. This will enable the website to present up-to-date information, ensuring users receive the latest insights. Additionally, new sections will be added to the site offering practical guidance on effectively utilizing the information and resources. These how-to sections will empower users to apply the knowledge gained to real-life tasks and scenarios. Lastly, the importance of catering to diverse learners will further consider specific adaptations to accommodate students with ADHD or who are FNMI or from ELL backgrounds. This approach aims to make the website more inclusive yet and valuable to a broader range of users. These steps aim to improve the usability, provide cohesive resources, and ensure further inclusivity, making this Capstone project website more valuable to its users. Final reflections. In addition to the reflections discussed throughout this presentation, here are some final thoughts after having considered all of the feedback and progress throughout this process. The Capstone project experience has been both challenging and rewarding. Focusing on differentiation and its implementation on the website required addressing complex issues. Feedback from peers, mentors, and users was crucial in shaping these improvements. The feedback highlighted the importance of mobile optimization for better usability and accessibility, and how important it is to incorporate a well-being section, enriching the content and emphasizing the holistic aspect of education. As well, keeping up to date with AI research to ensure credibility and relevance. Creating practical how-to sections received positive responses, empowering users in real-life scenarios. The project's growth and inclusivity have been a source of pride and determination. This journey has highlighted the value of perseverance and openness to feedback. Moving forward, the website will continue to evolve, making a meaningful contribution to education. Thanks so much for viewing. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and valued, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts.